Welcome to Creep It Cozy. Some objects carry stories. Others carry something that refuses to stay silent. Tonight, we unravel 5 tales about vintage items that should have stayed forgotten. Story 1. The mirror that showed what it wanted. It started with a mirror I wasn't supposed to buy. I was at this old estate sale just outside of Ash Hollow. That's a real place, believe it or not, looking for some vintage furniture for my apartment. I wasn't planning on buying anything weird, just a coffee table, maybe an old lamp. Then I saw it. The mirror was tucked behind a pile of cracked suitcases in the corner of the garage. Oval-shaped, brass frame, covered in dust but still somehow bright. I don't know how else to describe it. Like the glass had its own light source. It wasn't marked for sale, no price tag. When I asked the woman running the sale about it, she paused, hesitant. Oh, that belonged to the Ash girl. She was never quite right after her sister went missing. I asked how much. She gave it to me for free. I should have left it there, but I didn't. The first night I hung it up in my hallway across from the bathroom, normal spot, didn't think much of it. But when I walked past it after brushing my teeth, I saw something strange. My reflection didn't move. It just stared, blankly, calmly. And then it smiled. Not in a creepy horror movie way, just wrong, off. The kind of smile that feels like it belongs to someone else. I blinked. It was gone. I laughed it off, assumed I was tired. But the next night, it got worse. This time, I was already watching the mirror when it happened. I raised my hand to wave, just to test it. My reflection didn't raise its hand. It leaned forward and placed its palm against the inside of the glass. And then it mouthed something. Not a word. A name. Ash. I tried to ignore it, tried to sleep, but every time I passed the hallway, the reflection was doing something different. Pacing, writing on the walls. At one point, it was just standing with its back turned, whispering to something I couldn't see. I decided to take it down, sell it, smash it. I didn't care anymore. But when I went to unhook it, I noticed something behind the mirror. A compartment, a little panel, sealed with a rusted latch. Inside was a folded piece of paper, a photograph, and a name carved into the wood. Ash. The photo showed 2 girls standing in front of the mirror. One was smiling, the other was blurred out. On the back, it just said, "Only one came back." That night, my phone turned on by itself at 3:03 a.m. I didn't even know it could do that. There was only one thing on the screen, the camera app, already recording, pointed at the mirror. And in the reflection, I saw something I'll never forget. Myself, asleep in bed, with someone else standing over me, a girl, faceless, hair covering everything but her mouth. She was eerie, whispering something. One more, just one more. I smashed the mirror the next morning, swept up every shard, threw it all in a dumpster across town. I thought it was over, until last night. When I passed the hallway and saw the mirror hanging there again, same frame, same glow, and this time, my reflection wasn't alone. It was holding someone's hand. Story 2. The music box that played when no one was home. I didn't even want the music box. I was helping my friend Anna clean out her grandmother's attic after the funeral. We'd found all the usual stuff: linens, old recipe cards, a chest full of costume jewelry. And then, tucked into the back of a drawer, was this tiny wooden box with silver inlays, carved roses, a brass key on the side. No label, no brand, just a little name etched into the bottom in flowy cursive: LMC. Anna didn't want it. "It gave me nightmares as a kid," she said. "You take it." Regretfully, I should have said no. The first time it played was on its own. I was in the kitchen, making tea, when I heard it. Soft, metallic notes, like something from a broken ballerina toy. The melody was crooked, almost normal but not quite, like someone had reassembled a lullaby after forgetting how it went. I went into the living room. The music box was sitting on the coffee table, open, spinning. Confused, I don't remember opening it. I don't even remember winding it. Ominously, but the song didn't stop, even when I shut the lid. That night, I had a dream. I was standing in the attic again, but it wasn't Anna's grandmother's attic anymore. The ceiling was taller, the air was colder, and all around me were music boxes. Hundreds of them, each one playing a different tune, all at once. And in the middle of the room, standing perfectly still, was a child, face covered in ash, holding a sign that said, "Find us." The next morning I woke up with the music box next to my bed, closed but warm. Surprised, I hadn't touched it, and when I opened it this time, a slip of paper unfolded from beneath the spinning figure. It had a name on it: Thomas H., age 5, missing since 1961. I started researching: old news archives, missing children reports, and the more the box played, the more names appeared. One per day. Always after a dream. Always folded perfectly inside. Ominously. But then, something changed. One night, the music wasn't playing when I woke up. There was no paper. There was scratching, like fingernails on the inside of wood, nervously. When I opened it, there was nothing, except a note, handwritten in faded pencil. "No more space. Need a new box." Chillingly, "You." The next night, the box was gone. Hauntingly, but I still heard the music. Mania. But I still heard the music. It came from the vents, from under the floorboards, from the static on the TV. And then I saw something that made me freeze. A small girl, standing in the hallway, holding the box. She turned the key, slowly, and as the music played, the photos on my wall began to change. In every one of them, the people had their eyes closed now, like they were sleeping, or hiding. I've left the house. I didn't go back, and I don't look at old photos anymore. But sometimes, I still hear it. Usually around 3:03 a.m. A crooked little melody, playing from somewhere nearby. And I swear, every time I hear it, I remember a child I've never met, and their name is always folded on the paper waiting in my dreams. Story 3. The Wedding Dress That Doesn't Fit. The Living. It showed up on my porch 2 days after my birthday. No box, no note. Just a sealed garment bag leaning against the door with my name scrawled on a shipping tag. To Eloise. No return address, no tracking info. Inside the bag was a vintage wedding dress, cream-colored, long sleeves, lace so delicate it looked like frost on glass. It had a faint scent of dried lavender or something older. At first, I thought someone sent it as a weird joke. I wasn't engaged. I wasn't even dating anyone. But the tag on the inner collar said, "Property of A. Culling, 1902. Regretful." I should have thrown it away. That night, I dreamed I was standing at an altar, but it wasn't a wedding. It was a wake. I was the only one there, besides a figure in the front row wearing the same dress. She had no face, just a veil. Her hands were folded in her lap. She looked like she was waiting for something. When I woke up, the dress was hanging from my closet door, not where I left it. And the veil had been unwrapped. I took it to a local vintage shop to see if they could tell me anything. The woman at the counter went pale when she touched it, hesitantly. This came from the Ash Hollow collection. Shocked. We were told it was burned. She wouldn't explain what that meant. She offered me $2,000 to leave it there, firmly. I didn't take it. Sighs. Regretful. I should have. That night I couldn't sleep. The house was freezing, even though the heater was on. I got up to make tea and passed the mirror in the hallway. The dress was gone, not from the closet, from the reflection. In the real world, it still hung there, but in the mirror, nothing. I moved slowly, turning to see if my eyes were playing tricks on me. And in the mirror, someone was wearing it. She wasn't standing. She was floating. I dropped the teacup. It shattered. The reflection blinked. And suddenly, she was behind me. I spun around, nothing, just the hallway. When I looked back at the mirror, she was gone, but the dress was on the floor now, folded, as if it had just been worn. I took it to a motel 30 miles away the next morning and left it in the dumpster. I drove home, didn't look back. That should have been the end of it, gravely, but it wasn't. 3 days later, my neighbor's daughter knocked on my door. 7 years old, sweet, polite. She looked up at me and asked, innocently, "Can I have the dress you wore in the mirror?" Chillingly, she said I get to be next. Shaken, I moved out that same night. I left everything behind. Furniture, clothes, even the mirrors. Now I sleep in my car some nights just to be sure. But I still have dreams. Dreams of standing at the altar again. Only now she's not waiting anymore. She's walking down the aisle. And I'm the only one left to say yes. Story 4. The Typewriter That Writes Back. I found the typewriter at a church rummage sale. Old Remington No. 5, matte black frame with gold flaking on the keys. The tag said $15, not tested. It still had the ribbon in it. I bought it on impulse. Figured it'd make a cool piece for the bookshelf or something to click away on when I got bored. I never expected it to answer me. The first time it typed on its own, I thought it was a mechanical glitch. I had just cleaned the keys and loaded new paper, stepped away for a second. When I came back, there was a line written across the page. "What do you want to forget?" I laughed. Thought maybe it was a leftover scrap from the previous owner. But it was centered, fresh, and the ribbon still smelled like new ink. So I typed a response. "Nothing, just testing you." Then I went to brush my teeth. When I returned, the page had changed. Then stopped touching me. I unplugged the lamp next to it and went to bed. But I left the typewriter out, sheet still loaded. And the next morning, there was a new message. "You dream of the woods. Why?" I'd never told anyone about that dream, about the clearing, The girl with no hands whispering backwards from the edge of the trees. The typewriter knew. I started writing back. I asked it where it came from. It said only, "A wedding gift returned unopened." I asked who gave it to me. It replied, "You don't remember being someone else, do you?" Each conversation left me more rattled. The typewriter asked questions that unraveled things, old memories, nightmares I thought were gone. Then it got personal. One night, I typed, "What do you want from me?" It waited an hour before replying, "Obedience. We are compiling. We are recording. You are entry 243. That was when I tried to get rid of it. I took it to the lake near Ash Hollow, same place I dumped the old mirror from a few months back, tossed it in the water, watched it sink. 3 days later, I came home from work. There it was, sitting on my desk. Dry, polished, a new page already loaded. That was rude. Please answer the next question honestly. Would you rather disappear or remember what you did? I didn't answer. I unplugged everything, turned off my phone, stayed in a hotel. But then 2 nights ago, I woke up in the dark. The hum of keys was coming from the corner of the room, and in the silence between clicks, I heard something breathing, slow, shallow, mechanical. When I finally turned on the lamp, the page was full. The same line, over and over. You have been read. You have been read. You have been read. And underneath it all, in a smaller font than the typewriter should even be able to produce, next the library will write back. Story 5. The Camera That Captured the Dead. It was a Polaroid SX70, one of those vintage foldable cameras from the 70s. All brown leather and brushed chrome. Still worked perfectly. I found it at a flea market booth run by this older guy who said almost nothing, except, "Takes more than pictures." I thought he was just being spooky to drive up the price, but he sold it to me for $5. No case, no film, just the camera. And a post-it note taped to the back. Do not photograph reflections. I didn't listen. The first few shots seemed normal. Old street signs, buildings, a few black and white close-ups of my cat. The images came out clearer than I expected. Like way too clear. Sharper than modern Polaroid should be. But on the 3rd day, I took a photo of my bedroom mirror, just for fun. And in the instant the photo developed, I saw something that wasn't there when I took the shot. Someone was standing behind me. I turned around fast. Nothing. I looked back at the photo. Still there. A woman, faint, wearing a veil. Her hand rested on my shoulder like we were posing together. And in the lower corner of the picture, in small cursive writing, "Still mine." I didn't sleep that night. I kept every light on, every mirror covered. But I kept taking photos, like something in me needed to know more. Like I was being pulled forward one click at a time. That was the first mistake. The second was photographing the door. I was testing lighting, snapped a shot of the front door at dusk. Nothing weird in the real world. But in the photo, the door was open, and someone was walking in. Not toward the camera, toward me. From that point on, the camera changed. Every photo I took showed something slightly different than real life. Not just ghosts, but possibilities. My mailbox burned. My street flooded. In one photo, my own face was gone. Then it started printing photos I hadn't taken. They just spit out of the slot, randomly. One showed the inside of a library, one I've never been to, but I recognized it. It matched a photo I saw in that old mirror from Volume 1. But the one that scared me most came 3 nights ago. I didn't press the shutter. I was sleeping. But when I woke up, a photo was sitting on my nightstand. It showed me, sleeping, and someone, that same woman with the veil, kneeling at the foot of my bed, writing something on the wall behind me in what looked like ash. When I turned around to look, the writing was there. Say cheese. I burned the photo, smashed the camera, left the pieces in 5 different dumpsters across town. But I know it's not over, because I woke up today to a fresh photo on my kitchen table. It was black and white, clear as day. It showed me, sitting at my kitchen table, holding a photo. And in the reflection of the window behind me, I saw myself again. Only this version of me was smiling and holding the camera. If you made it this far, congratulations. You've officially ignored every rule about touching haunted things. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Creep It Cozy for more eerie tales every week. We'll be back tomorrow night, assuming nothing follows us back first.